Greetings AirProp fans, it's Tony here from Caveman Props, and I'm today going to work on a very quick, easy tutorial, basically a very basic entry level. What it was, I was talking with someone and they were sort of talking about some of the work that I did, and they turned around and said, "Oh, I wish I had your skills." And I turned around and said, "Well, I've learnt those skills and what I'm making, and then, you know, it's a lot of trial and error, and that's one of the reasons I do these videos, is to try and share some of that with you so you can make them as well." They were just like, "Well, I'm not kind of there yet, some of your stuff still seems to be quite advanced. What kind of props can I make very, very simple, basic level?" And I have done a few of them. I talked to about a few of them, but they were after something particular from a particular franchise. So I kind of had a thought about it, and I came up with a fantastic idea. Very quick, very simple build. I think this is going to be so simple. I'm going to have this done in one day, apart from the painting, literally put together, done in one day. And what we are going to do is we are going to build a Hypo-Spray from Star Trek. So we're either going to go from like Next Generation into Voyager. There's a few different variations. The one I've got has got an extra bit at the bottom. I just thought it looked rather nice, but if not, you don't have to build this bit on the bottom. You just have the bit where the medicine goes in. I don't really know, but it's very simple, very quick, and we're going to build it for you now. Simple materials. Okay, so to build this, what we're going to do is we're going to build it with foam. You can use other materials if you want, if you've got the capability. You could do this with like MDF or some other material that you can cut nice and easily, but I'm going to be doing this with foam. And what I've got here is I've got a piece of 20mm foam, and I've layered it up with a piece of 10mm foam to make it 30mm deep. And then what I've done is I've cut it off into a block 30mm as well, so it's square on the end and nice and long, and that's what we're going to be using to build this. Now what I've done is I've marked in on here, grab my ruler, so we've marked in a bit here, 30mm from the end, and then we've marked another bit that's 70mm, and then another bit that's 40mm. So I'm going to cut these bits out now, and then we're going to start shaping them to make the Hypo-Spray. Alright then guys, so obviously I've just cut them. I'm not going to show you that, it's quite simple. I've also numbered them so I don't get confused. So obviously number 1 for the top part, and number 2 for the middle, and number 3 for the bottom. We don't need to do anything to that, that's going to stay exactly as it is. So with this one we're going to work out to begin with what we're going to keep as the back, and I'm going to keep the 10mm layer bit as the back. And what we're going to do is, starting from the top, I'm going to mark in 5mm from there, and then what's going to be the bottom bit down here, I'm going to mark in another 5mm, and then I'm going to put a line between the two of them, and then what I'm going to do is with my nice long knife we're going to cut that bit out, so we've got the corner out of that. With this one, what we're going to do is with the back is going to be a little bit shorter. Remember correctly, it's going to be 25mm on there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to bring that down that bottom corner. So I'm going to cut these bits out with the nice knife. Alright, so there we go. So these are our parts now cut like this. So we're going to work on the middle parts. Alright, so we're going to move on. So what I've done here is I've taken a piece of 30mm dowel, and I've cut a 20mm piece off of it, and then used my burner. I've etched in a couple of lines all the way around. That's going to sit in between here for the neck, and then I've just cut a 20mm square out of 5mm foam. I'm going to stick that to the back here, and then that is basically just going to be the part in between that. It's going to go that way, like that. So there you can see that started to come together. So I'm going to get that together. We've got a couple more details to add to that, and what we're going to do is you've got the bit that goes on the end here, and what this is just part of a cone, pre-made foam cone. All I've done is I've cut the tip off of it off. I'm going to mount this to a stick because we're going to paint this a different colour, so I'm going to keep it separate for now, but I'm going to burn in the line around there as well, and then that will be ready to go on the end there. As you can see, that's starting to look really good. If you've got it, I did this. I tried to make another bit for the end here. This is just another bit of 30mm dowel. Just cut it off, and I glued it to the stick and then put it in my drill, and using the edge of my scalpel I've managed to kind of shape in the edge here a little bit. It's not too bad, and I quite like it, and it would go on there really well, but I know not everyone's got the capability of doing that, so I'm keeping this simple for today. So that's what we're going to do now. So we're going to crack on, get these bits done, and see where we are. Right then, so I've put all that together. That's really starting to look the part now. We're quite pleased with that. Now what we're going to do is add some more details, and to do that I'm using this 3mm foam, and I've cut it in a strip 60mm wide, and what we're going to do is we're going to wrap that around this part of the handle. So we're going to start where the bit of the 10mm foam is, try and hide some of that up a little bit, and then what we're going to do is that's going to wrap around, and that's going to end in the same place, and then we're going to take another bit, come in 10mm there, and wrap that round. So it's just a wrap at the front and a wrap bit at the back. So we're going to get them on, and then what I'm going to do is I've got a little thin strip which is going to go around the front bit here, and then I'm going to cut some squares. I'm going to put them on the back here to simulate the buttons that are going to be on there. So we're going to cut these bits, get them all glued on, and then it should be ready for painting and coating. So I just really wanted to quickly show you that. So that's the bit wrapped around there, marked there. We put the little bit down there, and then what I've done is with my tweezers cut off some little bits, and we stuck them on the back there for the buttons. Now this is all ready along with the bit to go on the end there. So I'm going to heat treat this so the foam closes up a little bit, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to coat it down with a black primer and then spray it up, and then hopefully we can start final assembly and add in the last few bits of details. Okay, so there we go, so that bit's painted. So what I did was, just to run you through this, I brushed over almost like a latex based primer, it goes really well on this. It's just one coat and it's done. It does leave a few marks, so then what I did was I sprayed that with a plastic based filler primer, and then sprayed it again with this plastic based graphite colour. So that's where we're up to now, and obviously it's really good weather, so all the base coats dried really quickly, so I basically got that all done in one day and then sprayed it and left this coat to dry. This one took a little bit longer. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to use my masking tape, and what we're going to do is we're going to mask this up, and I'm going to leave this raised bit and this raised bit and this bit to paint black, so we need to mask them off of that, which I'm going to do now. Okay, so there we are. So I've done that. I'm not going to bore you by making you watch me do that. Basically just masked it with paper around the top here with a bit of the masking tape, and then using thin strips, I'd lay that out on this cutting board, cut a thin strip. Managed to get like 2 bits in the middle here just to cover those edges up. Same again around here. I had to cut some bits a bit slimmer and then just cover this end bit. I was thinking about just covering this with paper like this end, but it was just easier to do this. So that's how that is now. So what we're going to do, I'm going to spray this with a gloss black now, and then obviously we have to wait for that to dry, and then we'll just come back with the last finishing details. So there we go, so that's all come out really nice. I'm quite pleased with that. The only problem is obviously my masking wasn't that particularly great, in the fact that some of the black has seeped under the masking tape. I'm not sure how well you can see it, but there's a little bit in there, a little bit around there. There's actually quite a bit in there. This isn't a big deal because we can easily sort this. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some of the graphite paint. Although it's a spray paint, what I can do is I can spray it in here and get some decent paint, and then using a fine little brush, we're just going to brush some more in here over the top of the black, and that should just cover it up a little bit. And then we're also going to make this bit on the neck black in the middle here. So I'm going to crack on. I'm going to get those bits done, and then it's literally just colour to these and the bit on the end here. So what we do is we take a little bit of the graphite paint on the brush in And then very gently just go over the black bit, and it just masks it up quite nicely, and just allow that to dry, and that should all be good. So we're just going to go around, and that's what we're going to do now, just to mask this little bit back up. Alright, so there we are, guys. That's this one all completed. I'm not sure how well you can see that there, but I'm very pleased with how this came out. This was very quick, very easy build. It was literally pretty much built in a day. I've done the main painting in the same day as well. I just literally had to wait for the main body of paint to dry at the end, and then add the black, wait for that to dry, and then add the final details. So in all, probably in the time that I spent on this was probably about would have just filled a day, but obviously I had to wait for the paints. But I'm really pleased with how that came out. One word of warning though, when you stick this bit on, that's the last little bit I just had to do, was just to glue that bit on. Always make sure that this bit is dry first, because I was a little bit overzealous and was putting it on while that was still wet, and I ended up nice big thumbprint right in the middle of the paint and had to redo it. So but there we are, guys. This is all done for an entry-level prop build. This was it. This was simple. All I used was a ruler, a cutter, some foam, and a preformed shape, and that's basically it. That's how it all came together. So there we are, guys. So if you enjoyed this, please like, please subscribe. What I'll do is I'll get some better pictures of this and put it on our social media, so go and check them out. I did build another one while I was doing it, so I could use that top that I made in like the little makeshift lathe. I think that came out really well as well. So I'm quite pleased with these. But for a very simple one, this is it. So there we are, guys. So please like, please subscribe. If you've got any ideas for props, please give us a comment down below, and I will see what I can do and try and add them with my list of builds. Any questions you've got, obviously just let us know. But there we are, guys. So hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will catch you in the next one very soon.